Craig Foss.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Finance and reads...
Order. Craig Foss.
The member may know I'm behind Order.
The member will resume his seat. I just ask the House, I request the House, please just take a deep breath and settle down a little. There's no need for this. I've called Craig Foss to ask question number 1. Craig Foss.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Finance and reads, what are the main features of the government's economic program and how are they helping to build sustainable economic growth?
The Honourable Billingham.
Mr Speaker, the government's economic program is focused on jobs and growth and includes strengthening the tax system, investment in productive infrastructure, supporting business innovation and trade, lifting productivity and services in the public sector, removing red tape and improving education and lifting skills. All of these things are helping to tilt the economy towards savings, investment and exports and away from unsustainable borrowing, consumption and government spending in previous years.
Supplementary.
Craig Foss.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Minister. Within this program, what steps has the government taken to strengthen the tax system?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, at a time when many other countries are being forced to increase both income and indirect taxes, we've delivered across-the-board personal income tax cuts that leave the average household about $25 a week better off. Even after a GST increase to 15%, the average wage earner is about $15 a week better off. Almost three-quarters of New Zealand earners now have a top statutory income tax rate of 17.5 cents or less.
Supplementary.
Craig Foss.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Minister of Finance. Within this program, what steps has the government taken to increase investment in productive infrastructure?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, very significant steps, including introducing smarter planning, financing and execution of projects. The major investments currently underway: a $4 billion program to improve the national electricity grid, a $4.5 billion program to restore the relevance of the rail freight network, a $1.5 billion program for rolling out ultra-fast broadband, an $11 billion investment in roads over the next 10 years and completing the upgrade of Wellington and Auckland Metro Rail, an upgrade which I acknowledge was begun by the previous government. Collectively, these multi-billion-dollar programs are supporting thousands of jobs and a brighter economic future.
Even the bad times are good.
Is some member to call Craig Foss?
Yes, it's about to be, Mr Speaker. Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Minister. Within this program, what measures are underway within the government's economic program to support business, innovation and trade?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, I think as most people are aware, the government's assertive program for free trade is progressing with some energy. We've signed agreements with Malaysia, Hong Kong and ASEAN, and at the weekend the Prime Minister announced talks were advancing with Russia and the Trans-Pacific Partnership countries, and we're also in talks with India, the Gulf states and Korea. The government is also, despite the fact that it has a very limited budget, has announced $140 million a year for the Primary Growth Partnership, and this year we confirmed $320 million extra investment over 4 years in science, research and technology.
Honourable David Cunliffe.
Speaker, to the Minister, what new policies is he considering to create jobs and lift incomes for New Zealanders? Given the recent verdict of the 2025 task force, quote, we do not see any realistic possibility that the gap in real per capita income has narrowed in the past year.
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, as I told the member last week, I don't agree with the 2025 task force, and actually usually Labor disagree with those people all the time. The government has a broad and comprehensive program. We've only just got started. There are some good early signs, but we will continue with our program as I've outlined: investment in infrastructure, less red tape, more productive public services and tax reform and so on.
The Honourable David Cunliffe.
Mr Speaker, within this so-called broad and comprehensive program, what specific changes to monetary policy, if any, is he considering to address high and volatile exchange rates that are crippling New Zealanders' exporters and manufacturers?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, the exercise of monetary policy is properly the province of the Reserve Bank. The Reserve Bank has a power for intervention, which they gained under the members' own government, and the Governor of the Reserve Bank has set out in detail where and how he would intervene. What the government can do to help exporters is to fix the mess of domestic policy that member's party made, so that we can help them be more competitive and start them growing again. Under that member's party, the export sector went into recession in 2005, and it's only now coming out of that 5-year recession.
Question number 2, the Honourable